Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Justice, ADAL, as commanded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Holy Quran. So today is the last session, second and last session of this topic. Alhamdulillah, as-salatu was-salamu ala Rasulullah, amma ba'd. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Justice in Quran. Justice is a central theme in the Quran, dictating the traditions of law and how should put into practice. There are two ways in which justice operates, in a legal sense and in divine sense. Regarding justice in the legal sense, the Quran tells Muslims not only how to conduct themselves, but also it is highly important regarding relationships with other people. It states what the various punishments for certain crimes should be, along with the justification behind this reasoning. Furthermore, the Quran brings across the idea that anyone who propagates the message of justice and acts accordingly will be justly rewarded with their place in Jannah. With regard to divine justice, there has been a discourse between many commentators debating how justice will be fulfilled for different people. Although all agree that Allah shall not do any injustice, it is debated as to how justice regarding non-Muslims functions. Although Quran is not direct on justice for non-Muslims, but on three occasions this book clearly enunciates that the good deeds of the humans belonging to other religious backgrounds are not to be wasted before Allah. And from these verses, it can be inferred directly that Creator, that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has nothing to do with religious background, but the good deeds of the actor will always be rewarded both in this world and hereafter too, enshrining the justice for all by Allah. Originally, the concept of justice within the Quran was a broad term that applied to individual. Over time, Islamic thinkers thought to unify political, legal, and social justice, which made justice a major interpretive theme within the Quran. Justice can be seen as the exercise of reason, and free will are the practice of judgment and responsibility. The practices and exercises were guided by two Islamic words, Huquq, that is, rights, are obligations one owes, and Hsan, generosity beyond obligation. These words created a guidelines for Muslims to abide by. Central to the prophetic conception of justice are three features: relationships among men and towards God are reciprocal in nature, and justice exists where the reciprocity guides all interaction. Justice is both a process and a result of equating otherwise dissimilar entities, and because relationships are highly contextual, justice is to be grasped through its multifarious enactments rather than as a single abstract principle. Quran places great emphasis on knowledge and the pursuit thereof as valuable, ayah 49-9, but thinks the intellectual well-being of people to a profound awareness of God and justice, and emphasizes the compatibility of knowledge with faith, ayah 35-28 and 5-89 and 58-11. Justice assumes such prominence in the Quran that it is regarded as one of the reasons why God created the earth. The demands that the Quran makes upon individuals to uphold justice and oath is extraordinary, transcending all bounds of family and society. While justice is something that one demands for oneself, more importantly, it is something to be fulfilled for others, regardless of the cost to oneself, one's relatives, or one's own community. And eat up not one another's property unjustly in an illegal way, that is, stealing, robbing, deceiving, etc., nor give bribery to the rulers, that is, judges, before presenting your cases, that you may knowingly eat up a part of the property of others sinfully. Surah Al-Baqarah, Ayah 1, Surah Al-Baqarah 188, Ayah 188. Allah will not punish you for the oaths you make accidentally, but He will punish you for the oaths you make intentionally. For the expiration of oaths made or violated accidentally, feed 10 masakin, masakin, poor person, on a scale of average of that with which you feed your own families, or clothe them, or manumit a slave. But whosoever cannot afford that, that he should fast for 3 days. That is the that is the explanation for the oaths that you have sworn are broken accidentally. So protect your intentional oaths as Allah has made clear to you in His ayat, so that you may be grateful. Surah Al-Ma'idah, ayah 89. Verily Allah commands that you should render back the trust to those to whom they are due, and that when you judge between men, you judge with justice. Verily, how excellent is the teaching which He, Allah, gives you. Truly, Allah is ever hearer, all seer. Surah An-Nisa, ayah 58. But know, by your Lord, they can have no faith until they make you, O Muhammad, judge in all disputes between them, and find in themselves no resistance against your decisions, and accept them with full submission. Surah An-Nisa, ayah 65. It is not for a believer to kill a believer except that it be by mistake, and whoever kills a believer by mistake, it is ordained that he must set free a believing slave, and a compensation blood money, that is diya, be given to the deceased family until they remit it. If the deceased belonged to the people at war with you and he was a believer, the freeing of a believing slave is prescribed. And if he belonged to a people with whom you have a treaty of mutual alliance, compensation, that is blood money, diya, must be paid to his family, and believing slave must be freed. And who so finds this, the penance of freeing a slave beyond his means, he must fast for 2 consecutive months in order to seek repentance from Allah. And Allah is ever all knowing, all wise. Surah An-Nisa, ayah 92. And whoever earns a fault or a sin and then throws it on someone innocent, he has indeed burdened himself with falsehood and a manifested sin. Surah An-Nisa, ayah 112. O ye who believe, be ye staunch in justice. Witness for Allah, even though it be against yourselves or your parents or your kindred. Whether whether the case be of a rich man or a poor man, for Allah is nearer unto both them ye are. So follow not passion, lest ye lapse from truth. And if ye lapse or fall away, then lo, Allah is ever informed of what ye do. Surah An-Nisa, ayah 135. O you who believe, fulfill your obligations lawful to you for food are all the beasts of cattle except that which will be announced to you herein. Game also being unlawful when you assume ihram for Hajj or Umrah pilgrimage. Verily, Allah commands that which He will. Surah Al-Ma'idah, Ayah 1. And as for the male thief and the female thief, cut off from wrist joint their right hands as a recompense for that which they committed, and punishment by the way of example from Allah. And Allah is all powerful, all wise. Surah Al-Ma'idah, Ayah 38. They like to listen to falsehood, to devour anything forbidden. So if they come to you, O Muhammad, either judge between them or turn away from them. If you turn away from them, they cannot hurt you in the least. And if you judge with justice between them. Verily, Allah loves those who act justly. Surah Al-Ma'idah, Ayah 42. But how do they come to you for decision while they have the Torah in which is the plain decision of Allah? Yet even after that, they turn away, for they are not really believers. Surah Al-Ma'idah, Ayah 43. Verily, we did send down the Torah to Moses. Therein was guidance and light, by which the prophets who submitted themselves to Allah's will judged for Jews, and rabbis and priests too judge for Jews by Torah. And after those prophets, for, for to them was entrusted the protection of Allah's book, and they were witnesses thereto. Therefore, fear not men, but fear me, O Jews, and sell not my verses for the miserable price. And whoever does not judge by what Allah has revealed, such are the kafireen, the disbelievers of a lesser degree, as they do not act on Allah's laws. Surah Al-Ma'idah, Ayah 44. And we ordained therein for them, the Jews, life for life, eye for eye, nose for nose, ear for ear, tooth for tooth, and wounds equal for equal. But if anyone remits the retaliation by way of charity, it shall be for him expiation. And whosoever does not judge for that which Allah has revealed, such are the zalimeen, polytheists and wrongdoers of a lesser degree. Surah Al-Ma'idah, Ayah 45. Let the people of Injil gospel judge by what Allah has revealed therein, and whosoever does not judge by what Allah has revealed, then such people are the fasiqeen, the rebellious, that is disobedience of a lesser degree to Allah. Surah Al-Ma'idah, Ayah 47. And so judge you, O Muhammad, among them by what Allah has revealed, and follow not their vain desires, but beware of them, lest they turn you, O Muhammad, far away from some of that which Allah has sent down to you. And if you turn away, then know that Allah's will is to punish them for some sins of theirs. And truly, most of the men are fasiqeen, rebellious and disobedience to Allah. Surah Al-Ma'idah, Ayah 49. Do you then seek the judgment of the day of ignorance pre-Islam, the days of ignorance pre-Islam, and who is better in judgment than Allah for a people who have firm faith? Surah Al-Ma'idah, Ayah 50. O you who believe, kill not the game while you are in state of ihram for Hajj or Umrah pilgrimage, and whoever of you kills it intentionally, the penalty is an offering brought to the Kaaba of an eatable animal, that is sheep, goat, cow, equivalent to the one he killed. He are judged by two just men among you. as judged by two men among you, or for expiation, he should feed masakin, poor persons, or its equivalent to Saum, fasting, that he may taste the heaviness, punishment of his deed. Allah has forgiven what is past, but whosoever commits it again, Allah will take retribution from him, and Allah is Almighty, all able to retribution. Surah Al-Ma'idah, Ayah 59. Say, O Muhammad, I am on clear proof from my Lord, Islamic monotheism, but you deny it, the truth that has come to me from Allah. I have not gotten what you are asking for impatiently. The torment, the decision is only for Allah. He declares the truth. He is the best. He is the best of judges. Surah Al-An'am, Ayah 57. Then they return to Allah, the true Mawla, the true Master, God, just Lord, to reward them. Surely for him is the judgment, and he is the swiftest in taking account. Surah Al-An'am, Ayah 62. Say, O Muhammad, shall I seek a judge other than Allah, while it is He who has sent down unto you the book, the Qur'an, explained in detail? Those unto whom we gave the scripture, the Torah, and the Injil, gospel, know that it is revealed from your Lord is in truth. So be not you of those who doubt. Surah Al-An'am, Ayah 114. And if there is a party of you who believe in that with which I have been sent, and a party who do not believe, so be patient until Allah judges between us, and He is the best judges. Surah Al-Araf, Ayah 87. And others are most to await for Allah's decree, whether He will punish them or will forgive them, and the Allah is all knowing, all wise. Surah Tawbah, Ayah 106. Say, is there of your Allah's so-called partners one so-called so-called partners one that guides to the truth? Say, it is Allah who guides to the truth. Is then he who guides to the truth more wrongly to be followed, more worthy to be followed, or he who finds not guidance himself unless he is guided? Then what is the matter with you? How judge you? Surah Yunus, Jonah, Ayah 35. And O Muhammad, follow the revelations sent unto you, and be patient till Allah gives judgment, and He is the best. He is the best of judges. Surah Yunus, Ayah 109. And thus have we sent it, the Quran, down to be a judgment of authority in Arabic. Were you, O Muhammad, to follow their vain desires after the knowledge which has come to you, then you will not have any wali, protector, or walk defender against Allah. Surah Al-Ra'd, Ayah 37. See they not that we gradually reduce the land of the disbelievers by giving it to the believers in war victories from its outlying borders, and Allah judges, there is none to put back His judgment, and He is swift at reckoning. Surah Al-Ra'd, Ayah 41. He hides himself from the people because of the evil of that whereof he had been informed. Shall he kept her dishonor, or bury her in the earth? Female infecticide. Certainly evil is their decision. Surah An-Nahl, Ayah 59. The Sabbath was only prescribed for those who differed concerning it, and verily your Lord will judge between them on the day of resurrection about that wherein they used to differ. Surah An-Nahl, Ayah 124. He, Muhammad, said, my Lord, judge you in truth, judge you in truth. Our Lord is the most gracious, whose help is to be sought against that which you attribute unto Allah, that He has offspring, and unto Muhammad, that he is a sorcerer. and unto the Quran that it is poetry. Surah Al-Anbiya, Ayah 112. Never did we send the messenger or a prophet before you, but when he did recite revelations or narrated or spoke, Satan threw some falsehood in it. But Allah abolishes that which Shaitan throws it. Allah establishes His revelations, and Allah is all knower, all wise. Surah Al Hajj, Ayah 52. The sovereignty on that day will be that of Allah, the one who has no partners. He will judge between them. So, those who believed in the oneness of Allah, Islamic monotheism, and did righteous good deeds will be in the gardens of delight, paradise. Surah Al Hajj, Ayah 56. Allah will judge between you on the day of resurrection about that wherein you used to differ. Surah Al Hajj, Ayah 59. The only saying of the faithful believers when they are called to Allah, His words, the Quran, and His Messenger to judge between them is that they say, "We hear and we obey." And such are the successful who will live forever in paradise. Surah An-Nur, Ayah 51. Verily, your Lord will decide between them, various sects, by His judgment, and He is the Almighty, All Knowing. And Surah Shura, Ayah 78. And He is Allah, La ilaha, La ilaha illa huwa. None has the right to be worshipped but He. All praises and thanks be to Him, both in the first, that is in this world, and in the last, that is in the hereafter. And for Him is the decision, and to Him shall you all be returned. Surah Al-Qisas, Ayah 70. And invoke not any other ilah, God, along with Allah. La ilaha illa huwa. La ilaha illa huwa. None has the right to be worshipped but He. Everything will perish save His face. He is the decision, and to Him you all shall be returned. Surah Al-Qisas, Ayah 88. When they entered in upon David, he was terrified of them. They said, "Fear not, we are two litigants, one of whom he wronged the other. Therefore, judge between us with truth, and treat us not with injustice, and guide us to the right way." Surah Sad, Ayah 22. O Daud, verily we have placed you as a successor on the earth. So judge you between men in truth and justice, and follow not your desire, for it will mislead you from the path of Allah. Verily, those who wander astray from the path of Allah shall have a severe torment, because they forgot the day of reckoning. Surah Sad, Ayah 26. Say, O Muhammad, O Allah, creator of the heavens and the earth, all knower of the ghaib, unseen, and the seen, you will judge between your slaves about that wherein they used to differ. Surah Zumar, Ayah 46. So wait patiently, O Muhammad, for the decision of your Lord, for verily you are under our eyes, and glorify the praises of your Lord when you get up from sleep. Surah At-Tur, Ayah 48. O you who believe, when believing women came to you as immigrants, examine them. Allah knows best as to their faith. Then, if you ascertain that they are true believers, then send them not back to the disbelievers. They are not lawful wives of the disbelievers, nor are the disbelievers lawful husbands for them. But give them, the disbelievers, the amount of money which they have spent as their mahar to them. And there will be no sin on you to marry them if you have paid their mahar to them. Likewise, hold not the disbelieving women as wives, and ask for return of that which you have spent as meher, and let them, the disbelievers, ask back for that which they have spent. That is the judgment of Allah. He judges between you, and Allah is all knowing, all wise. Surah Al Mumtahina, Ayah 10. What is the matter with you? How judge you? Surah Al-Kalam, ayah 36. Or have you oath for us? Have you oaths? Have you oaths from us reaching to the day of resurrection that yours will be what you judge? Surah Al-Kalam, ayah 39. So wait with patience for the decision of your Lord, and be not like the companion of the fish when he cried out to us while he was in deep sorrow. See the Quran, verse 21 87, Surah Al Kalam 68 48. Therefore, be patient, O Muhammad, with constancy to the command of your Lord Allah by doing your duty to Him and be conveying His message to the mankind, and obey neither a sinner nor a disbeliever amongst them. Surah Al Insan, ayah 24. Is not Allah the best of the judges? Surah Al Alaq, ayah 8. Afterlife and justice. God's justice determines one's afterlife. One's condition in the afterlife, felicitous or painful, is determined by the degree to which one has affirmed the unity and justice of God. And because of that affirmation, has acted with justice and mercy towards one's fellows. The Quran, the Quran makes it clear that justice decrees that those who are in the fire will remain there eternally. Later, commentary has softened that reality by interpreting it to mean that they will remain only as long as the fire itself lasts, and that God, in His mercy, will at last bring all souls back into His presence in the paradise. Hypocrisy. Munafiq in Islam are nifaq for hypocrite. Use of the term in the Quran refers to a specific group headed by Abdullah bin Ubali, whose lack of commitment to Islam caused Muhammad and early Muslim community great strain at the Battle of Uhud and Battle of the Trench. Describes those of weak faith are those who work against Islam. Those guilty of hypocrisy against Islam are condemned to the fire of hell for their failure to fully support the Muslim cause financially, bodily, and morally. Relevant quotations in Quran. Those hypocrites who wait and watch about you, if you gain a victory from Allah, they say, were we not with you? But if the disbelievers gain a success, they say to them, did we not gain mastery over you, and did we not protect you from the believers? Allah will judge between you all on the day of resurrection, and never will Allah grant to the disbelievers to triumph over the believers. Surah An-Nisa, ayah 141. Have you not seen those hypocrites who claim that they believe in that which has been sent down to you, and that which was sent down before you, and they wish to go for judgment in their disputes to the Taghut, the false judges, while they have been ordered to reject them, but Shaitan wishes to lead them far astray. Surah An-Nisa, ayah 60. And when it is said to them, come to Allah has sent down, come to what Allah has sent down, and to the messenger Muhammad, peace be upon him, you Muhammad, see the hypocrites turn away from you, Muhammad with aversion. Surah An-Nisa, ayah 61. The building which they built will never cease to be a cause of hypocrisy and doubt in their hearts unless their hearts are cut to pieces. That is, till they die. And Allah is all knowing, all wise. Surah At-Tawbah, ayah 110. Justice regarding non Muslims. In practice, Islamic law offers differing interpretations of Quranic justice, but this is done largely by ensuring there is a separation between legal and divine justice. And this essentially means the notion of justice regarding non Muslims is one of how non Muslims will be punished or rewarded in the afterlife. In common Muslim understanding, it is certain that disbelievers, including atheists and polytheists, will go to Jahannam. This is seen as just, as Allah does not accept polytheism or anyone to be associated with Him. However, there are disagreements regarding how justice will work for the people of the book, as they also follow strict monotheism but do not regard Muhammad as a prophet. It has been proposed by some scholars that Christians, Jews, and other monotheistic religions will be allowed to enter Jannah. They consider this as justice as it draws upon one of the main pillars of the Islam, namely that everyone is judged by their intentions and their deeds. These scholars have made use of varying verses in the Quran to support their point. These verses appear to state that as long as there is a belief in the God, the day of the judgment, and that they remain righteous, justice will be done, and these people shall find their reward in Jannah. As a further as a further basis of their argument, other verses are drawn upon, such as let there be no compulsion in the religion. Another Quranic interpretation that supports this claim is seen when Glassi argues that in theory Islam accepts Christianity as a divinely revealed religion. This is based on verses in the Quran which state that believers are not solely Muslims, and that these people will be justly rewarded for their prayers and way of life with their place in Jannah. Alternatively, the Quran also offers many verses which seem to demonstrate that the only form of justice for all non Muslims is one where they are all condemned to Jahannam due to their failure to follow Muhammad as a prophet. However, this interpretation is partially based on the verses of the Quran which states that Islam is the one true religion. Other scholars and Quranic translations have taken Islam in its literal meanings, submission to God. This would be in conjunction with other interpretations of aforementioned Quranic verses that promulgates the view that divine justice regarding non Muslims is based on their deeds and intentions if they still practice monotheism. Conversely, the Quran also contains verses in which it is stated that people of the book are unworthy of Allah's mercy and they shall be justly condemned to hell. This is seen when the Quran states, those who conceal God's revelations in the book and purchase for them a miserable profit, they swallow into themselves not by but fire. Christians and Jews are seen as having changed the message that was originally sent to them by Muhammad, which one commentators have interpreted as hypocrisy and linking hands with polytheists and atheists. However, in the same verse, the Quran also proposes to forgive them and overlook their misdeeds, for God loveth those who are kind. Reconciliation of double message. Quran contains a double message with regard to justice for non-Muslims. It appears to both it appears to both proclaim that the divine justice in the afterlife for people of the book will be their place in Jannah, presuming they have lived righteously, while simultaneously stating that these very people deserve a place in Jahannam for their beliefs, no matter how righteous they may live. The Quran also contains verses that command Muhammad that commands Muslims to fight against non-Muslims, while concurrently declaring that people who practice monotheism and live righteously will have nothing to fear in the afterlife, as divine justice shall reward them with a place in Jannah. There have been attempts to reconcile this by some commentators who have explained that these contrasts are due to chronology and that verses which were later revealed to Muhammad supersede earlier verses. Alternatively, it is suggested that in Allah's infinite justice and mercy, He will judge justly according to each individual's intentions and deeds. This line of reasoning follows the idea that we are incapable of fathoming what this decision will be, as we are imperfect as humans and cannot attain Allah's perfection. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the Allah's commandments on justice or adal as given in Holy Quran. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us that wisdom and guidance and courage to understand Holy Quran and to apply it in our lives and in our environments and cultures and societies and countries and world as a whole. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be our best guide and protector and bestow upon us all that is most suitable for us. Ladies and gentlemen, please take care of yourselves, your families, your friends, and your people around, and as well as the environment. So, till next time, Allah Hafiz.